We've just driven our 20-year-old sports cars up this old Roman road in the middle of absolutely nowhere in the Lake District, up to an old Roman fort, Hardknott Fort. It's one of the best preserved Roman forts in the UK. And tonight, we're going to try and camp in it. We're going to see if we can do some wild camping, Roman style. And I'm also going to show you how to cook a creamy mushroom pasta with a camping setup. The drive here was absolutely nuts. The roads are some of the steepest and tiniest I've ever driven on. And with my BMW, the bonnet is really long. I can barely see over the top of it. So when I go over some of these blind summits, I can't see what way to turn. It's like trying to drive a boat up these roads. Even though it's so tiny, it feels really big. That's what she said. And the views are absolutely insane. So this fort, Hardknott Fort, in the Lake District, quite close to Lake Windermere, which is, I think it's the largest lake in the UK, was used only for about 20 to 30 years before it was abandoned. But they built it here because it was along the side of a Roman trade route. That is part of said trade route, which is now tarmac today, but wouldn't have been back then. And the Romans must have really hated delivery drivers, because that is a gnarly route. They abandoned this place because basically they had a bit too much on their hands with the Scots. They figured these guys are being fueled by iron brew and deep fried Mars bars. We haven't got a hope in hell. And they also had other things on their hands overseas, so they gave up, and Hadrian built a wall. So this fort was abandoned pretty soon, but it's really big, and because it's so high up, it's very, very well preserved. A lot of these Roman forts, they would be cannibalized. So all these rocks here, they'd have been taken by the successors to build new things. But because this is in the middle of absolutely nowhere, the walls are still standing 2 meters high, like they were. When it was built back in about, I think it's 120 AD, so over 2,000 years ago, very long time. So some of the buildings were obviously wooden, so they're not here. They haven't stood up to the elements. But the stone, that has stood the test of time. Now, it's pleasantly early to be arriving somewhere for wild camping. It's like 3:30. So what we're going to do, we're going to go have a look for a good spot, then we're going to chill for a bit, then we'll cook, and then when it falls to dusk, then we'll be setting up the tent. This is absolutely massive. Oh, and I'm with Liam, who is over there. He's 5'8", so you can use that for scale. So let's look for somewhere. Ideally, I'd like to camp inside the fort, but I need somewhere flat and also somewhere discreet. So let's have a look around. I'll give you a tour while I'm here. That would have been a granary, and that would have kept the 500 Roman soldiers here fit and strong. And I just read that actually a lot of these wouldn't be Roman soldiers, but they would still be recruited for the Roman army. So a lot of them will come from the Balkans and then be sent here. No wonder they didn't want to send their Romans there. That'd be a blooming morale killer. And apparently, Liam tells me that a lot of these guys from the Balkans, they get sent up to here, middle of nowhere, but then they go, do you know what? It's not worth the pay rise. I'm going home. Because after 25 years of service here, you get to become a Roman and retire. But 25 years every day here, it's not exactly great. I haven't even got phone signal. This is the headquarters, so you could kind of say that we're in the war room right now. Hey, look, here's an alpha male podcaster. Hello, officer. Look, I've been out.
Oh, you're English, eh? I'm Roman, mate.
Yeah. No, sorry. Have you had any idea on where to camp? I mean, that is very flat there.
Yeah.
It is right in the middle.
Yeah.
So,
We'll have a good walk around and explore ski.
I've got a feeling over the far side might be good because it's not visible from the roads and that.
Or ideally, like on the back of one wall, because I doubt people are going to be that interested to walk all the way up when it gets dark and inspect the fort to make sure there's no one camping. So if we're hiding behind a wall, it should be sweet.
Yeah, I don't think there's going to be that much hassle here. Famous last words, cut to us being kicked
We'll
out.
just fight him. We'll just fight him anyway.
Yeah, well,
swords and...
if he doesn't come in the Roman tortoise or scarab formation, then he won't stand a chance.
Yeah.
The barracks, the garrison, would have been made from wood, but the commanding officer's house would have been made from stone. So I believe it's sort of, this is one of the walls. I think this is the outside wall of part of the house. VIP treatment, eh? No such luxury for us. We're going to be roughing it, Roman soldier style. None of this commanding officer soft nonsense. What blows my mind, there's a bathhouse here. I'm going to hopefully go and have a look at it later, but it would have had like heated water. And I just think it's crazy that you don't think, 120 AD that there's underfloor heating. My house definitely doesn't have underfloor heating, and yet they had it back then. It's crazy. Insane view though. What a beautiful place. This is a guard tower, and this obviously is not the height it would have been. Apparently you would have only been able to access them from like a second story, like walking along the ramparts. But I'm thinking this is actually pretty well hidden. It's fairly flat. It's out of the way. You can get a tent in there.
We're crippled, mate. It'd be bloody hard to get in there ourselves.
So that could be a good spot, especially if we set up late.
Yeah, but who gets the rock spot? So one of us.
You, because you've got an expensive roll mat.
One of us gets the shit spot.
You get the shit spot.
Just here's good.
Yeah, you can go here. Yeah.
Because by the time I set my tent up, I'll just be basically stand sleeping.
Yeah. That shows you how. I almost fell down. That shows you how steep it is. Look, because I can come down here.
I got the best view. It's like a reclining chair.
Yeah, this is how the Romans would actually stand watch over the fort. There you go. Milk.
The Britons are coming.
Milk delivery. 3 o'clock.
It's very steep, isn't it? This is my camp spot.
So from up here, you get an amazing view of the fort. Down there, the valley. And then as we spin around, past the mountain road that we came up, and then more mountains. Insane view. So beautiful. So beautiful. Now the ground, I mean even here, down there, would be a pretty good place to camp, but the ground is pretty waterlogged because we are in the wettest part of the UK. So I don't think there's going to be a great place to camp. So I think still down in the fort itself will be a much better bet.
History.
Ground absolutely frothing from my feet are wet. This route was terrible. It's wet everywhere. I've got trench foot already. I hate it here. No wonder they all went back to Croatia. Much nicer there. Last place we need to scope out is a bathhouse. We're sort of thinking this actually could be the one. Because it's a bit more out of the way actually, even though it's closer to the road. Just have to do a little river crossing before I get there. My feet are already soaked from all the boggy ground. Hello. Fancy seeing you here. This actually could be a very good spot because it's flat. And it's quite dry as well. It's not only flat, but it's also quite well hidden.
And we'll probably catch like syphilis left over in the grass.
Well, this has got ancient athlete's foot.
Yeah.
From the old Roman soldiers here. Actually, this is quite out of the way, and the walls are higher than the tent sides. I've touched on this briefly, but one of the problems with wild camping, especially because you have to set up late, is there isn't a whole lot to do. This is why everyone just sits on their phone and doom scrolls. So now we're thinking that we're going to have to crack into the beers because there's nothing else to do. But let me tell you more about the Roman bathhouse in case you're interested, because we are thinking here could be a good place to camp just along the back here, although I am concerned it's a bit visible from the road. Just where Liam is, this is the hot room, the cold area, and then the water will get progressively colder. There's the tepid area for tepid water in the middle, and then the frigidarium for frigid water, and then down over here, I've de-socked because my feet are so wet from all the boggy water. I'm not putting the dogs on camera. That one you have to pay premium subscription for. In there is the plunge pool, and this is the sauna. Just like they have in Scandinavia.
The water's not that cold.
Must be, water's not cold, someone must be having a piss upstream.
Look up there. There's a guy just taking a leak.
Nah, but they'll be cold enough. Beers in the fridge, time for dinner. Oh, camera matrix. Cooking channel, welcome back. I'm gonna make creamy mushroom pasta, and by virtue of my head mount, I'm actually gonna show you proper outdoor cooking show. But first, I'm gonna make a cup of tea, so I'm boiling the water, and then I'm gonna set the rest of my stuff up, because I'll need to boil my pasta in boiling water anyway. So, my cup of tea is brewing. I've prepped my beans, and in my pan here I've got my pasta going. Hopefully you can see through the head mount, otherwise it's very disappointing. And hopefully that's enough pasta for me, because I am quite hungry. So while the pasta's boiling, we've now got to prep onion and garlic to make the base for the sauce. I think I'm only going to need about half an onion. Don't want to overdo it. So I'll save this half for another day. That's my onions. And actually, I can put my onions into the pan already, because we're camp cooking, and I'm going to break them up already. There we go. So we don't have to be so strict with ourselves. Look, we don't need to preheat the oil. That's fine. Doesn't matter what Jamie Oliver tells you. He's not doing it on a stove outdoors. Now, I love garlic. Whatever the recipe says or you think it should have, you should always use twice as much. I know that because I had a girlfriend that was French. Ex-girlfriend, she was crazy. Half Scouse, half French. That is a terrible combination. But the one good thing she did do to me, other than emotionally traumatize me, was tell me that you should always use more garlic than you think. And that's one thing I always think when I'm cooking with garlic, and makes me very sad. Garlic is a natural antibiotic. Did you know that?
You can also put it on wounds. That's what I used to.
Exactly. If you put, because I've done stuff in like lab tests, and if you put like a little petri dish and you streak it with bacteria or yeast or whatever, and then you put a little thin slice of garlic there,
yeah,
the bacteria don't grow around the garlic.
Yeah, right.
So it's very good for you to eat garlic. Whoa, whoa!
Can you see that drone? Straight across above. This is hovering right there.
He's filming us.
Someone is here.
Are these two guys cooking a delicious dinner? Oh no, I think the stove's gone off, is it? So I'm not slicing the garlic. What I'm going to try and do is, I've seen that you can just crush it with the side of the knife. Whoa! Okay, we're having one less piece of garlic.
Yum. I would steal some of that. I love garlic.
And then I love garlic as well.
I love garlic.
This is definitely not the best technique to do it, but it is sort of working. When it comes to cooking outside, you've got to be flexible, but it is nice. Cooking in an old Roman fort in the middle of the mountains in the north of England, and it's not raining. I don't want to jinx it, but we're having some really good luck. My pasta's probably about halfway, so I'm going to put the beans in as well now, so they cook with the pasta. And I'm feeling generous, so I'll give it a stir as well. Now, of course, any good chef will tell you, salt the pasta water until it is as salty as the sea. But I'm not any good chef, and I don't have salt, so I'm not doing that. Oh, that's very close to being done. So that can almost come off and go onto a heat-proof surface, like one of these Roman stones. That can go there. That will still keep cooking anyway because it's hot water. Ram me windshield back in. And then we can start cooking. And of course, my seasoning mix. If you're interested, what that is mixed coloured peppercorns, salt, some chili flakes, a little bit of oregano, and I believe there's a tiny bit of fennel, which is the secret ingredient. If you're doing this at home, you can actually do this on a lower heat, but my stove has 2 settings, which is hot and extremely hot, which is why I need lots of oil to stop it burning to the pan. We can cut the mushrooms while that's going on. The thinner you slice them, the better, especially when you've got limited cooking space. Once my onions have cooked down, then I'll add in my mushrooms, which are starting to go out of date. They're a little bit, they're not mushy, but they're getting a little bit of a slime on top of them, but that's good. I think that, you know, it's good stomach bacteria. Mushrooms are something that's grown in dirt or feces anyway, so we can't be too fussy. Now, I don't want to overdo it with the mushrooms, but mushrooms cook down to nothing. Well, I've got 4 left, so I'm going to save them for tomorrow. That's how many mushrooms I'm going to have in it. Now we just cook this down a little bit. Stove going well. Cooking with unleaded fuel. Time for a tea bake. Cheers. Earl Grey tea. And I don't put milk and sugar in my tea. That's very not English of me. I don't need milk. I'm already white enough. Don't need sugar. Already sweet enough.
That's why you have better teeth than the rest of us.
Yeah. What's happening, girl? You alright? A lot of recipe books always say, when the onions get translucent. But I don't really know what is a translucent onion look like, because they're getting softer and they're definitely not as opaque as they were, but translucent to me, you know, means light can pass through. You could actually, you know, hold it up to the window and see light through it like stained glass. I'm making this one again because it was very tasty. It got very good reviews from you and our 2 friends that we just met who were walking all the way around the Anglesey coastline. And it was, to be fair, the first meal they had eaten that wasn't rehydrated for a little while. So I don't think it was a particularly tough crowd. But everyone said it was very tasty, and I cooked it in the dark. So I'm doing it now, today, to show you what to do. I'm again crowding the pan, the cardinal sin of cooking. And hoping it doesn't burn onto the bottom. I can't remember what people call this when it gets burnt on the pan. Chefs will tell you that that's on purpose and it adds flavour. So I'm going to go along with that. I'm just going to also add some more oil. Like a Turkish wrestler, never enough. And then we want the mushies to cook down. And then we will almost be at the final stage. So I'll strain my pasta water. And now I'm going to pour in my mushrooms. We're going to stir it all together, and then we add the cream, which in this case is not cream, it's Emily, which is fake cream for fake people, like vegans, with fake flavour. But it doesn't split under heat, therefore very good for cooking, and also it's cheaper than cream. You don't need to put in the green beans, but I had them in the back of my car, and they were starting to go off. So I just washed them in the river, trimmed off the bad bits, and I've mixed them in some extra fibre, why not? That's actually looking quite good. Oh, go on, a bit more seasoning. Okay, now, the moment of truth. Emily, 50% because I'm getting love handles, so we need to reduce the fat content. I'm only going to put in a little bit. I'm going to add it, mix it and stir it because I want a thick sauce. This runny sauce stuff, it just is no good for me. I don't like a runny sauce with anything. And just like that, we cook it down a little bit. It's going to thicken up a little bit. Bit more, go on. It's creamy mushroom pasta after all. Not barely seasoned mushroom pasta. A couple of mixed herbs on a budget. Mix that in. Then we're just going to cook it down, and then we're going to have a big pasta dinsky. Now, before I give you the review, just as I'm cooking this down, I actually would like it if one of you tries to follow my recipe exactly and tells me how it turns out. And if you do, send me a message on Instagram at sam_whiting1999. If you send me, if you tag me, if you make it and you tag it, I'll repost it. And please comment what you'd like me to cook next time. Even better if it's something that is regional, because I'll try and cook it in that region. But I'm thinking I might do a curry next time. Remember, I've only got one pot, one burner, one pan, a very small chopping board, and then 2 little plates which I'm using as prep bowls. But if you can make a suggestion of what to cook that's not spam and eggs, because I've done that before, it's very good, then please tell me and I'll have a go. So whoever suggestion I get, I will give you a shout out, and I'll also pin the comment if it's one thing I'm actually going to do. I think we're pretty much there. I didn't use all of it. I used probably about 2/3 of it. I just let the stove burn off. And actually, it doesn't look great because of the presentation. So I will concede that it isn't the most appetizing looking food. But imagine that, one of those dishes they give you in a restaurant that's like, it's about 1 meter to the rim, and then the bowl is tiny, and they give you a small portion of that. That little bit of some kind of garnish, a little bit of parsley, or maybe, you know, I put in a little bit of chili or something like this. It's bellissimo. You have a traditional creamy pasta without the cream, so it's okay for the vegans. My Italian accent started turning a bit Welsh at the end of it. But yeah, very good. Right, we need to find Liam for the taste test and the review. Here he is, taste tester extraordinaire, and he's just had his own dinner, so he's not hungry. So you know whatever feedback he gives is going to be, if it's negative, then you have to take it with a pinch of salt because he's already eaten. What do you think? The creamy mushroom pasta cooked in Hardknott Roman Fort.
You do very well.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Could you give us a bit of a review?
I reckon, well done. I mean, Nakuya. This is probably, it's better than your last one.
You think?
Yeah, it's got more stuff in it, and with the beans.
Yeah, well, I actually think it could do without the green beans. I only put them in there because it had them, but
That's good, bro. Well done.
it's a bit of extra fibre. I used more onion this time, and more garlic, and probably more seasoning. And a bit more cream, actually.
There's good stuff in it, you know. You get beans, mushrooms, onion, garlic. That's good. Well done.
You're ready to take on the world. If the Romans had eaten this, William Wallace, eat your heart out, mate, because they would have stood no chance they had this kind of fuel.
Only a few hundred years later, but close.
Okay, I have to be quiet because there are people walking around. I've got my stuff. And I've just done my washing up. I was about to crack open a cold one. They should be chilling down nicely. But Liam just texted me, he's back at the car. And he said, people have just asked him very aggressively whether he's camping. So he said to keep my head down. So there are people walking around now. I don't think they're anything to do with the national park. And anything like that. So I think they're just people. I saw them walking around. So really, you kind of think, get a life. Because, as I talk about in my other videos, we always leave as minimal impact as humanly possible. We even take other people's litter with us. So we leave the place pristine. So I think it should be allowed. But I'm just keeping out of the way. And I'll let you know how it goes. Hopefully we don't get busted while I'm waiting. It would be rude not to, since they're cold. Have to do it quietly. cobra. So good. They seem to be not that interested in us. Liam's come up, so far we've got away with it. I think they're just normal people. Nothing to do with this, so it's none of their business, so I think they'll probably just move on and then we can back to the schedule. But definitely this is a highest risk place we've camped so far because it seems to be popular but also monitored. So we're still not alone. There is 2 people over there, but the people that interrogated Liam, they're going back up Hardknott Pass. See you later.
It works so well.
What? Tell everyone. Take the mic and tell everyone what happened.
So I was fixing my roof. My roof had the seal on the roof wasn't shut properly. So I took the roof up, and then they pulled up next to me. And then I said, "How you doing, boys?" And they just looked at me for a bit, and I was like, "Ah, good chat."
Don't speak English.
And then, well, he looked Indian, but he spoke perfect English. And then he said to me, "You're not camping here, are you?" Like aggressive, not an Australian accent, but like English, but not super English. But he said it in an aggressive way, and I was like, "Oh, mate, does it look like I'm camping here?" And I pointed at my car, and he's like, yeah, true. Oh, nice car though." So it's like such a good escape because no one's going to expect someone in like what is a good looking car to be like setting up a tent, you know? So it's like such a W.
Hidden in plain sight, like the
Hidden,
Transformers.
yeah, literally hidden in plain sight. So I just said, "No, I'm just doing some cooking." And that was it. End of story.
Absolutely masterful deflection tactic. Final fine tuning where to stay now. We're the only people in the fort at the moment.
Wow.
The sunset is looking absolutely insane.
Crazy. Check it out, Lee Nation.
So our options are potentially just there. That's also quite flat over there.
Yeah.
You see over there?
True. I'd claim.
Liam was quite keen to go right in the middle of the fort, but I think it's a bit obvious.
I actually won't.
And I think
because if they...
round the back, I think it's like they might have a quick cursory look around, but
I also don't want to disturb any archaeological digs. I just don't want someone to be like, "Mate, there could be bloody mosaic floors under that grass. You just peg through it."
there's nowhere really that flat around here. It's all a bit on a slant. So I guess this is where we're camping. Where Liam is, if you can see him. There. Hopefully it's got enough out of line of sight from the road that we don't get bothered. The views are amazing. I'll show you in the morning. I think it's going to be even better because it should be more clear, but I don't know if you heard that, but Liam says he can tell people have camped in that spot before, which sometimes is a good thing because probably people have done it and got away with it, but also sometimes it's a bad thing because it means it's more likely that if the site is patrolled, people are aware that people actually do camp here. So worst case is you get moved on. So I guess that's going to be the spot. Time to pitch. Nasty clouds coming in, as nice as the sunset is, and we've been feeling a couple of spots of rain now. It's earlier than we really want to set up because although down on the road you can't really see us from anywhere except for Hardknott Pass itself, so the tents are not perfectly camouflaged. It is pretty out in the open, so we don't really want to set up, but because of the rain, setting up in the rain is no good, especially because we have inner pitch first tents.
The ancient Britian tribes might be able to see us tonight, so we'll get flanked. I reckon we can hold them off though.
I reckon. We'll just glass them, mate. We've got a couple of beer bottles.
A couple of beer bottles and an old axe. They call us the GoPro axe.
Yeah? Is that... The ground is a bit lumpy. It's not perfect. But it could be worse. And it's not, at the moment, absolutely howling with wind either. Yeah, Liam's gone for being on a slope but with no lumps, and I've gone for lumps but flat. Let me test. Rolling that way. Rolling this way. Okay, that's sweet there. I'm gonna have in the morning a view straight out onto Scarfell Pike. Look, how I see it is if people aren't up in arms about people leaving bags of dog poo here, then what we're doing is absolutely nothing. Tents are set up now. Since those last two people left, we haven't seen or heard anyone come along that the road down there.
An Army Concord comes through.
Army Concord I don't mind. I'm worried more about Jobsworths.
Yeah.
And look mate, you can't camp here. The view is amazing, tents are set up. This is the only flattish ground. It's not fully flat, but it's flat enough. I mean sort of a crater of a little, so it should snug me in. Hopefully nobody comes. The problem is when people come to check there's no one camping, they come late.
Yeah, like 10.
They come at like 10 o'clock when they know people, like, you know, that's going to be everyone's in for the night. Which if I was someone who wanted to kick someone out of camping in a Roman fort, that's the time I would come as well. But we're hoping, because it's not a weekend, the weather forecast wasn't amazing, and we're going to be quite quiet. We should be okay. And when I wake up, I should get an amazing view of Scarfell Pike, the tallest mountain in England, which you can't see right now because it's hidden behind the cloud. But in the morning, I'm hoping it to be very clear, very nice. We've retreated inside the tent because now a rain cloud has rolled in and it is starting to come down. It's not torrential, but it's just lots of little raindrops. But to be honest, now we're set up, that might be a good thing, because you know, who wants to go camping in the rain? That's the thought process, I think, when it comes to stealth camping. Actually, the worse the weather is, the less likely you are to get busted.
Camping in a rain is literally the best thing.
I don't know if you can hear that now, but the rain is really coming. So very lucky we set the tents up and didn't wait any longer. Did you hear the thunder? Did you just hear some thunder?
Huh?
Did you hear the thunder?
Fuck off.
Yeah.
I'm scared of thunder.
Are you really?
Yeah. I got struck once.
Well, it's either wind or thunder.
I got struck once.
It's alright, it's not like we're the highest thing in this fort.
I actually got fucking struck once, but I was sunbaking with an erection.
Good morning. Didn't sleep great. That's becoming a trend. But it's not as cold as we thought it was going to be. It's a little bit brisk, but still pretty pleasant. Unfortunately, the view of Scarfell Pike, which is there, is not as good as I'd imagined it would be. Sorry to disappoint you. I have to fall through on my promise. No disruptions during the night. It did rain and kept raining gently all night, so nice to be in the tent. But didn't hear any cars, haven't seen any cars since this morning. I did hear one. Sometimes I think, okay, I thought I could hear one then as well. But actually I think they were down on the road below. Just want to show you the view over the edge, out the far side of the fort. Didn't realise there's a nice river down there, and the fields are just dotted with sheep. I don't know if you can see all the sheep in that field. They've been in pretty much the same place as last night. I'm so high up, they just like little dots of grains of salt and pepper. Hot water on the go, ready for coffee. So I'll start doing my tent and hopefully I finish it by perfect time, in perfect time, and that will be ready for me. Coffee at the end, perfect, let's go. I reckon we had a couple sheep outside the tent last night because it seemed to be fresh poo, but maybe it's just stuff I didn't notice because I didn't hear anything. Coffee done. Tent almost done. Liam's still in bed. Sleeping Beauty's awake. How did you sleep?
Pretty well. Probably, this is what I've devised. I've devised the calculation for tent sleeping.
Oh god, here we go.
Here we go, have your coffee for this.
Buckle in, lads.
I think you sleep 30% worse in tents than beds. No matter, even if it's a good sleep, I think. It's hard to tell. We should have one of those whoops so we can track it. That'd be very interesting to track it.
That's a good idea.
Slept well though. First night sleeping on my little inflatable pillow. Was okay. I got cold. I didn't go full base.
Did you? When you said sleeping on the pillow, do you mean like you curled up on it like a dog in a bed?
No, not quite.
Oh right, you used the pillow.
I used the
Okay,
pillow
I
for
saw.
my
I
head.
have this picture of you like full fetal position, balanced on top of it.
My Thermarest sleeping pad must do pretty well for insulation because I sleep straight on that with just jocks, and I wear this long sleeve and socks, and then my very thin sleeping bag goes over me like a quilt.
There's a rainbow. What a nice end to the video.
That's AI.
It's not AI. It's not AI. I'm all packed up. Liam's all packed up. Liam's gonna cook a few Eggos and then we're ready to go. So tonight, camping at
Antonine Wall.
Gladrian's Wall. Actually, we're going to Hadrian's Wall. We're keeping with the Roman theme. So that's the next video. Thank you very much for watching, and just remember, now over to you. Go out and live where you live. And I would do my usual virtue signalling of picking up litter, but there wasn't actually that much today. I found a couple of baby bell wrappers, and there's Liam's tent peg, which he probably wants back. But of course we do take everything with us, and we don't leave any indication that we were there. So that it's nice for the next person. It's a privilege, not a right, to live somewhere as beautiful as this. So make sure you look after it, but also make the most of it. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one, my slimes.